On today's show, we talk about Stargate, Spider-Man Homecoming, Wicked, Alien Covenant, Fast 8, Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, Ocean's 8, Beverly Hills Cop 4, the Saint movie, and much more on the Zedos Gang podcast.
Betty, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone!
Okay, welcome to the Zedos Gang podcast number 15. Today with me I have Sacha Allari, or Sacha Allari. How are you today, Sach?
Yeah, I'm all good. Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, how are you?
Keeping your nose clean?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. How am I? Yeah, not bad. It's been a semi-eventful week. I've been kind of off the beat of films for this week, semi on, semi off, because E3 was on, so I was more on an E3 mode than anything else. But yeah, back on it now, and so which will lead us straight into our first topic, which is trailers that open this week, and we start off with Mona, which is a animated film from Disney Pictures, or Walt Disney Studios, that stars Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and looking at the trailer, it's because it's a teaser trailer. You don't see much in it, but Dwayne Johnson certainly has a lot of energy from the moments that I saw in it, and the shots that I saw in it. It looks like. Do you remember Zelda, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker?
Oh yeah.
It's got that feel to it. It's very oceany, very sparse. I'm not really sure what this film's about. I'm sure you can reflect, elaborate on what it's about. But to me, it looked like a Hawaiian adventure film, Hawaiian animated adventure film, and that's all I got from it really.
Oh, okay.
What's your take on this?
I have no clue, to be honest. I mean, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he's playing a demigod. It seems to centre on a character of, what's her name? Mona?
I guess
Mona. I think that's her name. It's played by Aliyai. Crap, I can't pronounce her name, but some unknown kid they picked from Hawaii herself. They've got some brand new kid that's never acted before. They actually did a promo about that, like showing her audition and stuff in front of directors Ron Clements and John Mosco. That they're the directors of this film. They did Princess and the Frog, Treasure Planet, Hercules, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, and Basil the Great Mouse Detective. These two guys have been with the Disney family for years. They've worked on various Disney films, before directing Basil the Great Mouse Detective. They've done some work on 101 Dalmatians and Jungle Book as animators and stuff. So, these guys clearly know what they're doing in terms of these films. It is in the vein of the Disney Classics collection. So, that big Disney event movie that they bring out every year, and this is the first one that The Rock gets to lend his vocal talents to. He looks like he's playing a demigod of some kind that they're showing in this trailer. He transforms into a bird or something. Should be interesting to see what they bring out with this. So if you're a Disney fan, typical Disney affair here. Yeah. I mean, it looks well animated. Again, it has a lot of energy in it. Dwayne Johnson sounds like he has a lot of energy in it, and his character that he portrays does the same. So to me, it looks like it's going to be something that's going to be for that holiday season. I think it comes out in America on Thanksgiving. So it's got that feel to it. So yeah, I'm sure it will do well. On to the next trailer, which is Pete's Dragon, and immediately what I got from this trailer it starts off really, really well. It's kind of mystical. This lost boy comes out of the woods. It's like mini Tarzan, and it's got Robert Redford in it, which was like, hey, it's Robert Redford. For any of you who don't know who Robert Redford is, kids, you probably saw him in The Winter Soldier.
The Winter Soldier, yeah, the old guy in The Winter Soldier. Yeah, I mean, it's got Bryce Dallas Howard in it, and
Carl Urban and Wes Bentley.
I didn't even see them.
Okay. Well, Carl Urban was in the trailer.
That was Carl Urban?
Yeah, that was Carl Urban.
Oh, right. I thought that guy looked familiar. That guy looks like Carl Urban.
That's because when you see him normally, you just don't recognise him because usually he wears a lot of makeup for most of his roles.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
yeah.
he's a chameleon of an actor. I mean, you see him in the Lord of the Rings trilogy in 2000, Return of the King. When you say it's that guy, a lot of people are like, what? And then you see him in Star Trek where he's actually wearing prosthetics that look more like Defrost Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And his performance as well in Star Trek is completely spot on to Defrost Kelly. So
yeah, more or less.
You just generally don't know when he props up. You know what I mean? When he actually does. I mean, like, that's how he looks like in real life, man.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, anyway, it had he was in the trailer as well.
Yeah.
It seems, and yeah, from what I got from it was I like the first half, but when you see the reveal of the dragon, the first thing I said, that's not a dragon, and I because looking at the artwork for the book and for the older film, the animated film / live action film, the dragon looks green and unconventional for what a dragon looks like. And for me, a dragon with fur is not really a dragon. It's to me it should be called Pete and the Cat Dragon Dog thing, or Bird Dog. Anyone who saw anyone that saw E3 will know what I'm talking about. Bird Dog, Bird Dog,
Bird Dog.
Don't worry about it.
Bird Dog. Okay.
You know, everyone will know. Everyone that saw E3 will know what that means.
Oh. Well,
but yeah, it was a good trailer. But apart from the quote dragon that I saw, it kind of pulled me out of it a little bit.
okay, I don't have a problem with the dragon. I mean, like, he looked like Pete's dragon. That's just me personally. I felt the trailer looked good. I think the key thing with this film, I hope the kid and the dragon's relationship is fully explored there, because I think that should be the heart of the movie. It looks like that according to this trailer. I quite like the look of it. It's kind of got that Amber Lynn-y kind of feel from like Spielberg's earlier films, and I think that's the kind of tone and the right note that this IP should go for. I mean, Carl Urban's in there because I spotted him. He plays the antagonist, so he seems to be like after the dragon for whatever reason.
Shoot it!
Yeah, he's like shoot it, or capture it, whatever. But like, yeah, Dredd's trying to take him down. Dallas Howard's up in there. I think she's the mother to the child lead, and Wes Bentley's in there as eye candy. So yeah, I buy this film. See what it's like when it comes out, and yeah.
Yeah, well, again, if you've seen anything, if you grew up with Pete's Dragon, then I'm pretty sure the way the dragon looks is something that you all like to see or expected to see on screen. But for me, it was a bit of it pulled me out of it a little bit. But yeah, it does look interesting. So look out for that, ladies and gents. And now on to the main segment, news topics. We start with Stargate. So it seems like Dean Devlin, who wrote and produced the original film, is up to. He wants to reboot the whole series again, despite there being a long-running TV series, one film. He feels like he didn't get to tell his whole story, so he wants to reboot the whole series and start again with, I'm guessing, without Kurt Russell. And yeah, he wants to, I think off the back of Independence Day, or the resurgence of Independence Day, no pun intended, he wants to ride off the back of this and start up Stargate again. I've never seen Stargate myself, so
what?
Yeah, that was sad, by the way. To me, that I know aspects of what Stargate is, but I've never seen it. So, but I've always been interested in. I always wondered what it was, but never got around to watching it. And I'm not sure if that's something that would amaze anyone. But you clearly have seen it, and so what do you think of this new set?
I don't know, man. Mixed to be honest, but you know, depending when they get it out, yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, here's the thing: Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich, they did the original movie. Okay, they had the rights for all 3 books, so I think there's 3 books. Don't quote me on that one because I'm not like a hardcore SG-1 guy that knows everything and everything. Okay. I've actually never seen SG-1. I've seen the odd episode, but like, you know, through channel surfing and whatnot. But I've never actually watched the whole show. So I'm aware that it has a huge cult following because, you know, it's the longest running science fiction series like ever. I mean, it went on for 10 years for a sci-fi TV series. That's quite epic.
I thought Star Trek was.
Not the original. The thing is, though, with Star Trek, the original series ran for three series. Yeah. Next Generation ran for 7. You know what I mean? Deep Space Nine, no Star Trek series that's hit 10.
You had Deep Space Nine, and you had.
Yeah, but they didn't go for 10 years. No, none of them went for 10 years.
But yeah, but the thing is though.
But that's the whole thing with the Stargate series. It's quoted as being. Yeah.
Just wait, but
okay.
Because there's been continuations of that series. You've got Stargate Atlantis and Stargate.
Oh no! I'm not talking about those ones. I'm talking about SG-1.
Ah, right.
Yeah, just SG-1, and then I was going to get to those. Yeah, and then it's got the spin-off series.
I see what you mean. Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So SG-1 ran for quite a long time, so it's quite beloved, and you know, I mean, the Stargate that I like is probably the original movie because that's the one I saw when I was a kid. And it was the prelude to Independence Day for me. And if you liked Independence Day, you'd love Stargate. Stargate is awesome. Plus, it has Kurt Russell. The TV show, you know, I'm aware it has its fans and stuff. But the cool thing by what I've gauged off of friends of mine that really love that show is that it actually loosely continued on off of the movie.
The characters. The characters were from the film.
Yeah, the characters were from the film. They were recast, obviously, but they were. You know what I mean? It was a continuation. Like that film began, and then the series began after it.
Yeah.
So, on that rationale, he's basically rebooting the whole thing. You know, I know some of the spin-off series probably ended in recent years. I don't know the full thing for that, so I know for a lot of people that were into Stargate, are probably feeling fuck this reboot, blah 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 blah. But look, I'm not against the Stargate reboot or reimagining or whatever the hell it is. Just give it some time. Don't do it straight away. Don't do it in the next 2 years. Do it in like 7 years.
What do you mean? Give it some in terms of because he's talking about he's talking about the film, and the film came out in 1994.
Oh yeah, but you know, I'm talking about the TV fans.
Just screw the TV fans.
Well, no, because these are the guys that have stuck by it and want to see a new movie.
Well, no,
if you give it, here's the thing: if you gave it like at least 5-7 years, at least that's enough time for them to go, okay, we're not getting a continuation of what we like, but at the same time, it's fresh, it's enough time for them to go, oh, actually, that's a property we can reboot and we can go in a new direction and stuff. It's like the Battlestar Galactica reboot. I'm a big fan of both incarnations of Battlestar Galactica, and I'm up for a new version of it on the big screen, mainly because it's been XYZ amount of years since the miniseries, and most importantly with the miniseries, sorry, not miniseries, I keep saying miniseries, I mean the recent rebooted series, it's been quite some time since that ended, and not only that whole show came to a conclusion. It came to an end. It wrapped it in a bow. It was like, this is the end. Let's not make a sequel.
That's great, but that's a TV series. That's a TV series. I
understand that, but I'm just saying, the fanboy in me, and me understanding fanism, etc. Feels if you're going to reboot something, just wait a little while.
Again, I'm going from purely from the film. Okay. The film was over nearly past 20 years ago now.
Oh yeah,
and,
sure.
It's, to be honest, I haven't seen an outcry since that news was reported. I don't see any fans up in arms about it.
I don't know, man. You'd be very shocked. You'd be very shocked. I'm calling it now. Okay, I would want to be an SG-1 fan right now.
Why
That's
not?
For sure.
But that's, if it's the same. I really don't understand why it's a big deal. I mean, if it was the 3 films that he got to make that he was rebooting, then fair enough.
People would. Well, I don't know. I think had he have got to make those films, it would never have been a problem. You know what I mean? I don't even see him making the films. But you know what? Dean Devlin, he's said time and time again over the course of like the past 2 decades that was the original plan and that's what he would like to do. And to be quite honest, it doesn't surprise me that it is coming, if it is coming. I haven't got a problem with it myself personally. I'm just saying I could see why, if there was a backlash, I'd understand why.
Well,
okay,
right. I don't think there's. Okay, so the TV series are going to cover so many different things that the films won't cover. If he wanted to do his trilogy like he said he wanted to do, then I don't see there being any problem with him rebooting the first film, because he's going to cover the same. He's going to cover the same a story arc that first film did.
Yeah,
and
but
so,
I don't. What I'm saying is, I don't have a problem with him doing a reboot. Okay, I'm just saying, considering the series carried on off that original movie, and it took into account the original movie, and you got to understand that's what made that show. That's what kind of legitimised that show. They're like, fine, we can't get Kurt Russell, but we'll get MacGyver and we'll put him in there.
Dude, the show's over, man.
I know the show's over, but the last incarnation of it, spin-off of it, ended pretty recently. So it's kind of like, it's not, the wound is still sore, man. It's like, come on, man, like, these guys stuck by it. It's, you know what I mean, like,
Again, I really don't see the problem.
But you're just going off the movie.
Yeah, I really don't.
I'm not going off the movie. I'm going off the whole thing as a whole. There.
Well, considering
I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, just give it. I'm all up for a reboot. Just give it a little bit more time. That's all. That's just me. But hell, who am I?
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, it finished in 2007. So yeah, it's there's been enough years.
Oh, was that the last one?
Yeah, SG-1.
No, yeah, but when did Atlantis finish?
Atlantis was one of the newer ones.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, again,
it's still connected.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's like with Star Trek. Okay. The last Star Trek was in 2003, and the way JJ rebooted it was it still honoured the original timeline, but it started everything anew. So
I look. I'm
Atlantis,
just saying my point of view. That's all. I'm just saying.
Stargate Atlantis finished in 2009. Okay. So again, it's been many years since this series is over. Okay, look. Anyone that's listening to this and is passionate about Stargate, leave a comment in the description, and you tell us how you feel about it, and we can continue this in the comment section if need be. So, feel free, guys. Have you got anything left to say on this?
No, I don't have anything left to say, Joe.
Okay, alright. Okay, on to Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay, so it looks like Logan Marshall Green is from the Prometheus has been cast in this new Spider-Man film, and Martin Starr from Silicon Valley is in this film also, as well as Donald Glover. I never said Danny Glover there. Donald Glover has joined Spider-Man Homecoming, and so it looks like this film's being packed with lots of different talents. And so for me, I know who Donald Glover is, and I think he's been wanting to be part of Spider-Man since 2010, or I think even earlier than that. And so, to me, what they're doing a good job with the casting, I think. And so, To me, show me more. Really, I just want to see the film now. I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and I want to see what that universe looks like now with that rebooted Spider-Man, and so. Oh damn. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Well, you report it.
Let's carry on with this one, and we'll go into that one.
Okay, so
sorry, shall we take it from the top with Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then lead on to this? Or?
I'm not going to edit this, man.
Oh wow, you're not going to edit this?
No.
Okay, well let's carry on with Spider-Man: Homecoming. Sorry, dude.
So yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Yeah, I've already said everything I need to say about it. So this cast list, Satch, what do you think about it?
Yeah, sounds like a healthy cast list. I mean, Martin Starr? He was in. What was he in?
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. Logan Marshall Green. He was in Brooklyn's Finest, Sandcastle, Prometheus. Donald Glover, Magic Mike, The Martian. He was most notably in Community as Troy. And funnily enough, he actually played Miles Morales in the Ultimate Spider-Man TV show. He played Miles Morales. If people don't know who that is, that don't read comic books, he was basically the Black Spider-Man that was in the Ultimate Universe. If you know anything about that. Funnily enough, Donald Glover really petitioned to play Miles Morales pretty hard. You know, if they were going to do a Miles Morales film, and he really wanted that role, which has had a lot of people speculate whether he would be playing Miles Morales. I don't really see that, considering that the actor is 32 years old and they've actually picked like a teenager to play Peter Parker. I'd be quite interested to see whether Donald Glover plays the Prowler, because the Prowler was always like one of those Z-list villains to me growing up reading Spider-Man, and you know, in context to Miles Morales, the Prowler was Miles Morales' uncle, who's obviously one of Spider-Man's, Peter Parker's main villains. So, that'd be an interesting dynamic to have him then lay the seeds later on in 20 years or whenever they want to end the MCU and put like Miles Morales up in there. That'd be cool. I don't know who Martin Starr or Logan Marshall Green could or would be playing, but, at the moment, they're just naming people at the moment, so they could be anyone and anybody's guess. So, just be, just be interesting to see who they play. I guess we'll have to wait to Comic-Con when they actually announce the cast in full, with director John Watts announcing who they are and who they're playing, because at the moment it's just speculation. So, but yeah, sounds like a good cast list, I guess.
Yeah, and again, we don't know who any of these characters will be. As you said, you don't know. You don't think he's going to be Miles Morales because the age difference with this new Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, he could play it. I mean, like, he could play Miles Morales. I mean, like, Tobey Maguire was 30 when he played Peter Parker in high school, and so did Andrew Garfield, notably. But at the same time, if you're going to get a legitimate 15-year-old to play 19-year-old to play a teenager, and then get 30-something, it just doesn't really match for what they are doing. So, yeah.
Actually, I think he might even be 20 now. But, I see what you mean by that. But, again, we don't know who they're going to play. Again, Logan Marshall Green, the first thing I ever saw him was Prometheus. I didn't know who he was before then. So, I hope he does his part a bit better than he did in Prometheus, because in Prometheus I thought he was a bit of a maybe that wasn't his fault, maybe it was Ridley Scott's fault, but I didn't particularly. His character was more of a. I don't know what this actor's like in anything else, so I've got no basis of reference in terms of his acting ability. So hopefully. Something good can come from this. They clearly like him for something, so which is why he's in this film. So as for Donald Glover, yeah, I can't say any more about him. He's I know him from musically as opposed to him being an actor, but I hope the best for this Spider-Man Homecoming film. If you're done with that, which I think you clearly are.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Wicked. So Wicked is being set to be made into a film in 2019 from Universal Pictures, and it's the adaptation of the Broadway show Wicked. So I've never seen Wicked, and not Alice in Wonderland. The Wizard of Oz I've only seen a couple of times, and from what I understand, the story of Wicked it's about the witches of Oz before Dorothy shows up and after Dorothy leaves, and so you've got the whole arc about why she is the way she, or one of the witches, why they are the way they are, and so forth, and so. On a film level, it could be very interesting to see where they could go with that, because they could extend it into more than one film. So for me, I think it sounds interesting. Again, I've not seen the stage play. I don't know much about the story as opposed to what I just said. But it sounds like it's going to be a good adaptation. If it's the most successful play in Broadway at the moment, or was anyway. And so, yeah. That's my 2 cents on that. What about yours, Sach?
Yeah, so, you know what? I had a feeling they were going to adapt this at some point or another. I don't know. I was thinking about, would they do a Wicked after watching the Sam Raimi Oz thing, Oz, the Great and Powerful, that came out a few years back, which I think is, like, really interesting. You see, I mean, like, Wizard of Oz is a classic. What I liked about Raimi's Oz the Great and Powerful, which is still yet to get a sequel. I think Disney were interested in doing one, but like all IPs that were like original IPs with them, they've been put on the back burner because they're spending their Disney dollars in a galaxy far, far away. But I mean, what was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, Oz the Great and Powerful, what I loved about it was it had even though it was a modern version of Wizard of Oz, it was actually a prequel to the original film. And if you looked at it, it had the same aesthetics to the original movie, like the look of it, even though it was updated, etc. You recognised it off that world of the original movie. I do believe with Oz the Great and Powerful, they couldn't use various things in that, or do various things in that, because Warner Brothers, when they made that original film, they added stuff in there like ruby slippers and stuff, which weren't in the original book. That was added for the film adaptation. So there was certain stuff that they couldn't put in to Oz the Great and Powerful because it was for the Warner Brothers adaptation. So to not get sued, they just borrowed from Frank Baum's books, kind of thing, to create that movie, and they used the aesthetics from the original movie, the look of the movie, as their palette for that movie. I would really like I understand Wicked is over at Warner Brothers, so it'd be interesting to see whether they're going to borrow that aesthetic from the original movie to continue on, or whether they're going to be a complete incarnation or a complete reboot where they're just going to do their own thing. The director that they got, Stephen Dowley, he's quite a theatrical director. He did Billy Elliot as well as the stage version. He did Trash, which came out a few years ago, The Reader, and The Hours as well. It's been written by the woman that wrote the stage play herself, Winnie Holzman, who wrote the book, and she also wrote a few TV shows such as My So-Called Life and The Wonder Years. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, Joe, what do you think?
About what?
About Wicked. Did you have something to say that regarding Warner Brothers or something?
Yeah. So I was thinking that it might be because Warner Brothers always partner up with other studios, so it could be a partnership with Warner Brothers and Universal, because they're partial to doing stuff like that. Oh,
okay.
So if that is the case, it'll be easier for them to do this, purely because of what you just said, of all the elements that they put into the 1950s film, they can put into this film as well, and so it would just connect everything that much more.
Because it's like they've got like two films that are out that are loosely connected, and kind of thing. I mean, like, you watch this Rami Oz movie, it goes straight into the original film, the original Wizard of Oz. Did you ever watch the Oz movie? Great and Powerful? No. You know what? It has a brilliant intro. What I loved about it, what I really loved about it was, like, if you ever watched the original Wizard of Oz, it starts off black and white. You know what I mean? And then it goes into full colour. And that was the aesthetic for the movie at the time, kind of thing. What Sam Raimi does, he actually films it in whatever it was.
The stock film. Yeah,
the stock film. But they film it in the exact ratio as what they had back then of the time.
4:3.
Yeah,
Okay.
4:3. They film it in 4:3. And then they have this 5-10 minute introduction to James Franco's character and stuff.
It gets wider, right?
And it gets wider when he goes to Oz, and the way it's done is so well done cinematically. It was really good, and it was one of the few 3D films where I'd recommend, because he really did utilise the 3D in such a way that it brought that world to life. But no, it was a really good film, I felt, as a standalone and as a prequel to what goes to before that. I mean, Wicked is a beloved musical. I mean, like, I've got a lot of friends that rave on about how good Wicked is and how much it gives credence to the origins of the three witches that are in Oz. So it'd be very, very interesting to see where they take this movie and how they adapt it to its stage play counterpart. So yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. You just got some news, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Just take a moment. Shocking news, really. Actor Anton Yelchin. How do you spell it? Anton Yelchin.
Let's have a look.
Anton Yelchin.
Anton Yelchin.
Anton Yelchin. He just recently passed away in a car collision. That's kind of shocking. I mean, he's got the new Star Trek movie up. Playing
Chekhov.
Yeah, he's Chekhov in Star Trek, and he's got quite a number of projects up. I mean, he's got quite a few films that he's got on the go. I don't know what's going to happen with them, but he's got about 5 projects, and yeah, that's just kind of come out of nowhere as a shock. Really, I think that's a shame, because he's a really good, talented actor, really good. I mean, he does a lot of. Well, yeah, sorry. I mean, he's done a lot of independent films. He still does short films, for people that, are first up and coming directors, still doing short films himself. And, that's a big loss. I mean, the first film I ever saw him in was Terminator Salvation, funnily enough. And if there was any plus point to that movie, it's got to be his performance as Carl Reese. Because, you know what, that kid, he had the mannerisms of Michael Biehn, down to a T. I mean, sure, he didn't look like Michael Biehn, but I tell you what, he played a young Carl Reese more convincingly than Jai Courtney did in Terminator Genisys.
Let's not talk about that film.
And that was just down to the way he talked, because he had the voice down to a beat, and he also had the mannerisms down. He had all of the mannerisms that Reese had in that original Terminator film, and he made me believe in that character in what little time that he spent in that film. And on top of that, Star Trek as Chekhov. I mean, you know what? Again, stole the film in certain places for me. I mean, he had that impersonation down to a point. He was a very, very talented actor. You know what? Back in 2007 or 2008, whenever the Star Trek film came out. 2009. I said back then, he's someone to look out for, and wow, that's a shame. That's a huge blow. I think we've actually lost a very talented actor.
As I was telling you earlier,
yeah,
Harrison Ford could go anytime. He almost did twice.
Yeah, he's Indiana Jones. He's not going to croak until that movie's done.
Well, he's already dead in one franchise. I won't say which. But, jeez, man.
Yeah.
Touch wood.
But yeah, no. Big loss.
Yeah, well,
loss, I feel.
Yeah, that's a bit of bad news there from Hollywood. Unfortunately, these things do happen. But, yeah, that's some bad news. On a bit of a bad segue onto the Alien Covenant, which is the next news topic. 20th Century Fox released a photo of Alien Covenant, which shows Michael Fassbender. It's got Ridley Scott with Michael Fassbender in the background, clearly being a version of the David robot. This might be version 9 or 10, who knows? But there was a comment from Michael Fassbender about what the aesthetic of the film looks like, and he said that the film looks close to what Alien looked like now. It's the ship that the ship Covenant is more closer to what the Nostromo looked like. It's very battered, very used, very lived in. It's not a new sleek design like the Prometheus ship looked like. So we're getting back to what the prosthetic looked like to the first film. Considering Wayland Industries is it has its I think by this time it's merger with Yatani, but this whole world, sorry, I'm mincing my words now. Wayland Industries had a lot of different types of ships, and from what I understand, the Nostromo was almost like an oil rig, sort of, in space, and so this ship is more. I'm not sure what this ship, the Covenant, is, but I'm guessing it's not the same type of ship that the Prometheus was, but it's more of an older ship that was made a lot earlier before the Prometheus ship, and it has all the old aesthetic that we would be used to from the first Alien film. And for a lot of Alien fans, I think that will excite them getting back to that world, just like it was in Star Wars when it got back to that aesthetic of what Star Wars was. And so I'm looking forward to it. The more I hear about it, the more I'm looking forward to it, especially since, did you ever see the other picture of the sheer hell that was going on the planet?
Yeah, I saw a couple of images. I mean, yeah, that's cool. I kind of missed the idea. Well, hang on, is Noomi Rapace back in this, or is she not?
She's not been listed, but my feeling is that if she went to that planet by herself,
yeah,
how are you going to take on those engineer guys?
True, but I want to see a whole film with her and him as a head.
But this is what I mean. As soon as they step off that ship, they're either going to do something to her. I don't know what's happened to her character, but something's happened to her character, clearly. Yeah. And
well, I just find that kind of intriguing because she was kind of like the focal point of that original movie. I wanted to see more of that character.
I know, and this is what the fact that they haven't mentioned her or named her in the cast list in me. I reckon she's still in the film, but I think she's got a lot of a smaller part than anything.
Oh no. Yeah, we'll see, man. I am looking forward to it. I mean, like, I quite liked Prometheus when I saw it. I understand flaws and all. I do acknowledge the flaws, but you know what? I still enjoyed it. It was big sci-fi, and we rarely get big sci-fi on that level, and only someone like Ridley Scott can deliver that. You know, very few directors can. Christopher Nolan can, Ridley Scott can, James Cameron can, and I just want to see more sci-fi on that level, and how... I'll take an Alien prequel sequel for that, and you know what? I quite want to see this film. Well,
you know what my feelings.
Yeah, I know what your feelings are. Yeah,
it was my favourite film of 2012, but I know I'm quite alone on that. I know people would tease me or berate me on that, but it worked for everything that I saw worked for me, and in terms of the evolution of what we thought the Alien is or was, it's absolutely spot on from what I thought the evolution would be. And so seeing going to the home planet and seeing what that's going to be like, from the way Ridley Scott describes it, it's hell. And I'm fascinated to see what that is. And so yeah, I can't wait for this. And as far as I'm concerned, it can't come any faster. So that's my 2 cents on that. I can't wait to see it. It comes out next year, October 2017. So yeah, look out for that. And I believe there's going to be a teaser coming out soonish. I'm not sure how true that is, but looking at the Twitter streams, it looks like something's coming. So I'm gathering it's a trailer. So on from that to Furious 8, or Fast and Furious 8, or whatever it's called in your region of the world. It looks like they've got Helen Mirren to join the cast of the Furious franchise, as it's called, and I remember her talking on a talk show about her expressing interest to wanting to do this type of action, because in her youth she never got to do that, and she was on stage a lot, and she said, I just want to do action, and she got her wish. She's in one of the biggest action franchises in the world now. So I can imagine what she do. I guess it would be something to like her character in Red, where she's got a big machine gun, driving a car, taking the car off a building, shooting backwards, slow-mo. Yeah, the Helen Mirren, man. I can't say any more. What are your thoughts on this?
I feel like Andy Samberg whispered in Vin Diesel's ear and just went, hey, you know who'd be smoking hot in these movies? Helen Mirren, yo. And like
Andy Samberg?
Andy Samberg.
Why would the Andy Samberg?
Because it just sounds like something the Lonely Island would pull. I mean, like you've got the Fast and the Furious, and you know all of them, the way they are, and that whole aesthetic to that world. And then you got Helen Mirren. I mean, like, throw Dot Cotton while you're at it. No, I think this is brilliant casting. Don't deny talent. It just seems really out there for this franchise, but you know what? I buy it. Vin Diesel knows what he's doing when it comes to pulling together a team for this franchise. I look forward to seeing what she does and what her character is to that. I think it'd be funny if she was The Rock's mother or something. That would give me jokes. Maybe she's some badass CIA, bigwig or something, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe she's Kurt Russell's boss or wife.
Maybe she's
something.
MI6.
Maybe she's MI6. I don't know, but. You know what I mean? Like, we'll have to see, man. I mean, like, I know nothing about her role other than she's in it. She's as left field gets with, like, the Fast and Furious franchise. So, let's see how it comes out and comes together. I'm sure it'll be good. Can't wait for these films. I mean, like, you know what? Since Fast 5, these films really found their stride in what the audience is and what this franchise should be, because like I tell you what, me coming into Fast and Furious, I was never a fan originally till Fast 5.
I don't think many people were.
No, I mean, like, you know what my honest thought on the Fast and the Furious was when I saw that movie. I was like, why the fuck did they remake Point fucking Break? Who dares remake Point fucking Break?
Well,
and
it turns
clearly
out...
they did. Clearly they did now. But I mean, no, that's why I didn't like Fast and Furious. But then, Too Fast Too Furious came and it became a thing. And then I watched Fast 5 and I was bought into this franchise. And then I rewatched the other ones and I was like, you know what, the first one's not actually a bad movie, except for, the Point Break thing aside. But no, it's a good movie.
Well, they
are great movies.
It turns out that the Fast and the Furious is a better Point Break remake than the Point Break remake.
Oh yeah, of course, no doubt, no doubt.
It's quite funny actually, ironic.
Yeah.
Even, but yeah, it's spawned off. Okay, so with the Fast and Furious franchise, I watched the first one. I thought, oh no. No. That's not the thing. Oh man. Yeah.
Did you watch the second one in theaters or?
Yeah, I watched the second one. Yeah. I've watched all of them in theaters so far.
Oh, okay.
It was the first one was the second one was like third one was really, and then the fourth one, okay, then the fifth one, whoa, okay, and it's ever since that third one was a pivot point for it to go, okay, we know what this thing is now.
Yeah.
It's
been the same director since Tokyo Drift. And to be quite honest, like me being new into this franchise after watching number 5, I'm not gonna lie, I actually really enjoyed Tokyo Drift. Personally, I
can't say I really enjoyed it, but it was different.
I know a lot of people didn't, but because of that, and Hans was like my favourite character until he died in that one. Han. Yeah, he died in that one, and I was just the spoilers. He died in that one, but then you know it was just kind of like when you go back and you watch the 4th one, and then he's in there and you're as a main character because they actually flesh out why he was boys with Vin Diesel's character, and I was just like, Hans is bad. What the hell? I don't understand. And then you just see him get killed again, or you know they kind of loop it, and it's Jason Statham that kills him.
Yeah.
Man, like that was like what a big whoa.
You just ruined the film for everyone that hasn't seen it.
Look, the film's more than like 4 years old, so if you haven't seen any of the Fast and Furiouses, you're late to the bandwagon. You should really get on that bandwagon.
If you want more spoilers like this, please subscribe to the Zedos Game podcast.
But no, yeah, can't wait to see what they do with Helen Mirren in this film. Yeah.
Yes, Helen Mirren with guns. If I need to see this now, specifically this, she's in a red Ferrari jumping off the side of a cliff with an AK in her hand, looking backwards from the place she's falling to, shooting upwards at the person that's shooting at her.
I think you just described Red Free, but anyway.
But yeah, that's the scene I want to see from Fast 8. Anyway, on from that to Mr. Spielberg. He seems to have a very busy playbook these days. He looks like he wants to reboot, well, not reboot, remake West Side Story. And I say remake because I see you doing the clicks there. I say remake because I think his version may be different in terms of, I don't think he's going to do it with Latinos and, was it Latinos and Italians? No, Latinos and Irish. In the first. Okay, anyway, I've never seen the stage show. I saw the 1950s film, A West Side Story, and I enjoyed that for what it was. I'm not really a big fan of musicals, but I do like that one in particular. From where I think Spielberg will take it, I think he'll take it to Palestine. So it'll be I reckon the people that fall in love will be a Palestinian will fall in love with a Jewish girl,
right?
And that's where the whole in between thing.
So you think it's going to be like set modern telling of it?
Yeah. If I think where Spielberg's mind's going to go with that, I mean, even Movie Talk thinks that is it Movie Talk that I saw that on? But they think that he's going to go Palestine as well.
Oh, okay.
And I think that'll be controversial.
Oh, yeah. If he does go that way with it, wow, I'm sold because of it being controversial. But I mean, like West Side Story, you know what? To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen parts of it on the TV growing up. I never really
used to watch it. It's a good film.
I've not really seen the original film, but I mean, Spielberg. Look, Spielberg is a solid director. And he's at that point where he can do whatever the hell he wants. When Steven Spielberg says he's doing this movie, he's doing that movie. Except for Lincoln, because he couldn't get funding for that for ages. And, you know, that's a tough sell when it comes to doing period dramas, because no one really wants to do period stuff anymore. The big studios and stuff, unless, like, you've got a commercial angle to it. But, I mean, it's been written by Terry Kushner, who did Lincoln and Munich with Spielberg. He's also a playwright. He also wrote 2 plays, Caroline of Change and Angels in America. And, you know, this guy's written stage plays and stuff in his career, as well as being a screenwriter for Steven Spielberg on Munich and Lincoln. So, obviously, he's picked the right writer for the right project here. Spielberg knows what he's getting himself into. He says it's a passion project for him, so obviously he's got a good version of West Side Story to put out there rather than it just being a straight remake. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. Hopefully, like Spielberg knocks this one out the park, and see how it goes.
Yeah, it's all at the moment. Spielberg's doing what Spielberg wants to do.
Exactly.
And I'm surprised that he hasn't directed an episode of Star Wars yet.
Well, I don't think he wants to. I mean, they asked him that. They asked him that before they got J.J. Abrams for The Force Awakens, and he basically said that
that'd be like sleeping with his mate's wife.
Yeah, he did say that at one point. The other thing he said was kind of like, well, as much it was a better time for him to direct it back
when George Lucas was.
Yeah, well, back during the original trilogy, because he wanted to direct Return of the Jedi. George Lucas wanted him to direct Return of the Jedi, but for some strange reason, there was some kind of conflict there. He couldn't do that, and because he was the first choice, and now he's just that big a name. You know what I mean? That's probably why. I mean, what? I'd like to see Steven Spielberg tackle an anthology film. That'd be great. Because I think the anthology films lend themselves to different filmmakers with a certain vision for the galaxy far, far away. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so West Side Story, when more news comes out on that, I'm sure we'll report it. Okay, so on to the next topic, which is Ocean's 8, as this is the new name for the Ocean's 11 spin-off with the female cast, and so from now it will be called Ocean's 8. I'm guessing there'll be 8 women involved in this, and so it looks like this is going further along than it's catching speed now, so it's more set in stone for what this film's going to be now, and it looks like Steven Soderbergh is involved in it in some way, maybe as a producer, or hopefully he'll direct it, because it's very Steven Soderbergh's film style is you always notice it. It's almost like what's that? Who did Dark Knight?
Christopher Nolan?
It's almost like Christopher Nolan's. The way he has an interesting way of cutting in a scene, and that's what Soderbergh does as well. He has this intricate style of cutting, and or just filming really. It's very synonymous to him, and so I hope he does film this one, and I don't know who the actual cast is at the moment. I know that oh gosh, what's her name? Oh my gosh, I can't remember any of the names that were supposed to be in this film, but I know that he had a big cast and list for this film. I know Sandra Bullock is supposed to be Daniel Ocean's sister that comes out of jail, surprise surprise, and so yeah, if she's leading the cast, then I'm guessing that can't be a bad thing. I've got total faith in whoever's writing this. I'm not even sure who's writing this. I'm sure you'll tell me, Sach.
Oliver Mulch is writing this movie. Funnily enough, it's actually being directed by Gary Ross, that did Seabiscuit and The Hunger Games. Sandra Bullock is the only person that's been cast. Everyone else is rumoured. There was a strong rumour that Jennifer Lawrence was going to be cast, mainly because Gary Ross has a long history of casting people that he's previously worked with. But yeah, Soderbergh is producing it, but he's not directing it because
the report that I got this news from said that they had no one in the director's
Gary
seat
Ross
yet.
has been locked to director for quite a while, for the past 2 weeks in fact.
Interesting.
Yeah, we talked about it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, he's definitely directing it. So
fair enough.
Yeah, but yeah. Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, like, there's been rumours that Elizabeth Banks is up for a role, and Kate Blanchett, and Mindy Kaling, I don't know what she's in, and Helena Bonham Carter as well. But there's been nothing confirmed.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it?
There's
Just
no confirmation on actors that have. I'm guessing the actors that have gone up for it. I'm sure some of them will filter through and actually be in the film. So again, well, I guess the thing to take from this this news report is that Soderbergh is still on board to a certain degree, and the name of the film is now Ocean's 8. And so that's oh right, yeah, director Gary Ross, yeah, you're right. So yeah, yeah, on from that, yeah, which was a bit of a shambles, to Beverly Hills Cop 4. So once again, the monster pokes out of the water. That is Beverly Hills Cop 4. One failed TV show, or pilot of a TV show, Beverly Hills Cop, to the resurgence of this film, Beverly Hills Cop 4, with Eddie Murphy. Do you think this film's ever going to get made?
I don't know, man. I was excited when I heard Brett Ratner was going to do it, because I was like, okay, Rush Hour, he's got the chops to pull out the funny, because that's the kind of film that he does best, okay? And I was really looking forward to Brett Ratner doing it, and I'm in the minority where I quite enjoyed Tower Heist. You know, he managed to somehow breathe back old Eddie Murphy briefly in that movie, because that was Eddie Murphy's character in that movie was one of the highlights of that movie. You know what I mean, like, Cop 4 is a kind of film that Brett Ratner could do in his sleep, but you know, he no longer seems to be attached. They've managed to attach these two directors, Adele El Arabi and Bilal Fallah. Okay, and they've both done
Fahala.
What?
Fahala?
No, Fallah.
Anyway,
they both did the movie Black and Image. Okay, two indie films. Black caught the eye of the producers of Beverly Hills Cop, and they decided to hire these guys for the movie. We'll have to see how it goes. I mean, like you said, like, do we really need one? Do we really want one? I mean, like, I think there is a potential idea to go with Axel Foley if they wanted to do one. It just, you'd have to do something different rather than him going back to Beverly Hills to solve a murder. I mean, like, I'd like to see him go to Detroit, because he's been living in Beverly Hills for ages. Personally, that's where I'd do a switcheroo. You know what I mean? Hell, I wouldn't even call it Beverly Hills Cop. I'll call it something different. Okay, mainly because I'll title it as a brand new Eddie Murphy movie, and then everybody will be like, "Whoa, Axel Foley, isn't that?" And then for those in the know, they know it's Beverly Hills Cop, and in the market it like a Beverly Hills Cop movie.
What would you call the film?
Detroit Cop.
Why Detroit Cop?
Detroit Cop. No, I'm joking. Oh no, man. But
no, you said it. Why Detroit Cop?
What?
Why Detroit Cop?
I was joking. I was just making this up on the fly.
I mean, you've got to follow it through now. You've got to follow it through.
Why are you talking in that weird, mysterious voice,
man? Yeah, Detroit Cop. Yeah,
Detroit Cop. Yeah.
I guess that's the most basic and simplest and obvious thing to go for, really.
Oh no! Like,
he was a cop from Beverly Hills. Now he's in Detroit.
Or why my friends keep dying, and why have I got to solve their murders every time? I mean, like, I don't know, man. Maybe they should call it Wonder World. Maybe there's a murder in the theme park from the last movie. I don't know.
Oh, I hate
Someone
that first
killed
film.
the squirrel, and
I really, if there's anything about Beverly's Cop I fucking hated, is that third film. That third film is.
It was the first 12A before 12As.
Do you know what watching that film made me so angry I wanted to punch Jesse Eisenberg. I hate that film.
Wow.
I hate it. It's
so
bad.
It had some few joke elements.
No, it didn't.
Yeah,
the only joke about it is that it was made. It was so bad. It's really bad.
It is quite bad.
Wow.
For what the other two were.
Yeah,
you know what? I love 2.
The 1 and 2 are brilliant.
1 and 2 are brilliant, but 2, I don't know what it is about 2. Maybe it's like the last 20 minutes. I don't know, man. Like,
is that the one where he has the bomb in the paper bag?
No, that's number 1.
Oh, I love. That's one of my favorite scenes when he just puts sweat in his face. It's absolutely brilliant.
Oh,
absolutely brilliant. I need to watch those films again now.
All 2 of them, huh?
Yeah. There's a third one.
I didn't mind the third one as much as you. You know what? When I saw it, I was a 15-year-old kid. So
Hey!
I saw it.
Hey, why don't we just watch Mission Impossible 2 and Beverly Hills Cop 2? 3, sorry.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they're both fucking terrible, but we're still gonna watch them.
What are you on about? They are awesome movies, yo. Anyway, moving along.
Yeah, so Beverly Hills Cop 4. I'm looking forward to it. There was something that you wanted to mention. Before the podcast started, you said you wanted to mention something, and it was in regards to Beverly Hills Cop.
I did.
48 hours. 48 hours. No, I did. I think 48 hours.
Yeah, you did. I didn't. But go on.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Oh, you're doing it. Okay. Cool.
So 48 hours.
What is it that you are doing?
No, I can. I think I can do the voices.
Okay. Okay. Voice guy.
And I can just do this as well. So yeah. I'm joking. Yeah. So. Yeah, I would like them to do another 48 hours as well, and not another 48 hours. If you haven't seen another 48 hours or 48 hours, it's a film with Nick Nolte and
Eddie Murphy.
And it's if you, I don't think any of the teenagers or kids will be able to relate to that 1980s humor in the same way that we did. But it's such a funny film. Both of them, they're so good. I can't tell you enough. You need to watch these films. If they were gonna make it today, I would get what's the guy's name? Josh Brolin and maybe someone like Kevin Hart, someone that's Eddie Murphy like, but not Eddie Murphy. But maybe not Kevin Hart because I've had enough of his face. But someone new, some up and coming comedian that has that same spirit, same energy, and yeah, to me that's one of my favorite comedy duos on screen. It's just so good. I can't say this enough. If you haven't seen 48 Hours, go watch it.
Why not a sequel? Why not a sequel? Have Eddie come out of prison, and then Nick Nolte's there, just like, yeah, I need your help for something. You can still use that dynamic in a sequel and have it set in the current day. That way, you know, Nick Nolte's still old enough to do that kind of bomb role. Yeah. I think it'd be funnier as well, to be quite honest, that the fact it's, you know, you could reintroduce it to a new audience, yet at the same time have them, there were older movies, you know. I think that'd be the perfect IP to bring back, to be honest. But
it's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, it's going to at some point. But you know what? Again, it's the same reason why Beverly Hills Cop won't happen. You see, Eddie Murphy's been very selective on what he does in his career at the moment. Because I was watching some
selective.
But I've been watching some interviews with him recently, funnily enough, and he was talking about Hollywood and why he's kind of like toned down and stuff, and he acknowledges all the shit films he did because he said he just did it for money, and he straight up admits that. So props to you, Eddie. You did what you had to do. Fair enough. You did a lot of shit films, by the way. But the other reason why he toned it down is because he was living on Shrek money, and Shrek was probably the best thing he did in the past like decade or so, and he acknowledges that. So you know, as long as they keep making Shreks, hopefully it'll make him more selective to the types of movies that he chooses to do. And I think the reason why he's not done Beverly Hills Cop 4, because it's all on Eddie, to be quite honest, because they need to pay him a shitload of money to come back, or that script.
They really don't.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't have to. That's the thing. He's even said that from the horse's mouth, said he doesn't have to come back, and he doesn't really want to come back. He says the only way he'd do a Cop 4 is if the storyline was brilliant.
But he recently said that these two directors impressed him.
Well, they must have done something, okay?
Well, they impressed Jerry Bruckheimer, and they impressed him.
Yeah, so they must have done something if this is a go. But the way I see it with this project is this is the next set of directors since the last set. And I think the closest they got to doing it last time was with Brett Ratner, because I can believe that there was conversations there because of Tower Heist. And, you know what I mean? Like, Eddie Murphy seemed quite on board with that, but for whatever reasons the project fell through. Maybe it was because of the way they went with the story and whatnot, because they haven't written who the scriptwriters are. These guys write their own scripts, so maybe they're writing the script, maybe they pitch something. Maybe he wants to go to Detroit. I don't know, but like, we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. But I'd say I want Beverly Hills Cop, but I want Judge Reinhold's up in that shit. So
is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's just doing TV.
What about the other dude?
He's still alive too. They're both alive. They both do TV stuff, but nothing in anything big.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, on from Cop Hills Beverly to The Saint. Never mind. So The Saint. The Saint is coming back. It seems. I've no other information that someone wants to bring it back. I never saw the Saint with Val Kilmer.
Yep.
But I remember that being. I remember it having a very good music video. But I never saw that one.
Well, funnily enough, The Saint with Val Kilmer was our good friend Simon Merritt's first screen debut on the silver screen.
No way.
Yeah, Simon's in The Saint. They actually filmed some of The Saint up on Harrow on the Hill. By the way, for those guys just tuning in, we actually live. Well, I live in Harrow. Joe doesn't, but Joe, you don't live that far away from Harrow. I mean, like Harrow on the Hill, it has a big school there. The opening of The Saint was actually filmed in that school, and my friend Simon Merritt, he was an extra on there, and he's got some screen time in the movie. And I can remember watching it, going, "Hey, there's Simon." By the way, he was probably like about 14 14 or 13 when he shot that, because the movie came out 2 years after when it was shot, and that first movie wasn't that bad. I didn't think. The only thing bad about it was that they had an American as the Saint and not a British guy. But mind you, that was the first reboot of the movie. Val Kilmer was okay in it. It was directed by Die Hard's John McTiernan and Predator's John McTiernan. Yeah, that guy did Predator, Die Hard, Rollerball, and a whole load of other movies, Hunt for Red October and shit. Yeah, man, that was a solid action movie. You know what? Funnily enough, with The Saint, at the moment, there's a TV pilot for The Saint coming out at the moment, which stars Adam Rayner as Simon Templar, who's in the TV show Tyrant that's going on right now, and it has Elisa Duke, who played the daughter in True Lies, and she was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She's up in there. But yeah, there's a TV pilot coming out at the moment. Whether it gets a full season, I doubt it, but they just announced the movie now. One thing that's consistent with every incarnation of The Saint, Roger Moore cameos in everything to do with The Saint, so hopefully we'll get a Roger Moore cameo. For those that don't know the significance of Roger Moore, well, the original Saint was a TV series that ran in the 1950s to 1960s, and it starred Roger Moore, and it was actually his big casting call to play 007, because Simon Templar was basically James Bond. It was like TV's James Bond kind of thing, which is why he got the James Bond gig, because at the time a lot of people just felt, well, he's doing the same shit but on the small screen. And yeah, you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see where you know what, I was thinking a few years ago there should be a resurgence of The Saint, maybe do a new one with a new actor, a new British guy. I mean, like, you know who'd be perfect? I think if you go for the Roger Moore kind of thing, everyone's saying that Tom Hiddleston would make a good Bond. Personally, I wouldn't want to see him to go with Tom Hiddleston, but I could totally see him playing The Saint, myself personally. That's just my 2 cents. What's your 2 cents on The Saint, Joe?
I've never seen anything to do with The Saint.
You've never seen The Saint?
I know of it.
Well, not even the Roger Moore one?
No.
What?
My mum was not a fan of Roger Moore, and I watched everything my mum watched.
Well,
So.
okay, fair enough. My mum dug Roger Moore. That's why I have a soft spot for his 007, because that's the 007 that I kind of grew up watching. You know, I watched all the Roger Moore ones and the Connery ones, but mainly Roger Moore got played in my household. So, you know, a lot of people can take that for what you will, but you know what I mean? Like, he was joke Bond. But, you know, The Saint was very much that kind of tone of character that his James Bond was, and I'd say check it out. The Val Kilmer film, also a good film. He was more serious in the role, like it was they made it more a serious action thriller.
They needed to, really.
Yeah, which kind of suited the time that it came out. I don't believe it did that well in the box office, otherwise we'd probably have the same 8 by now.
It was roughly around the same time Mission Impossible
Yeah, it
came
was.
out.
Yeah, definitely. It came out probably the year before or the year after Mission Impossible. No, I think it was the year before. I can't be sure. I think it was 93
97, so it was a year after.
Was it 97?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, 97.
I was well off. Okay, so it was the year after. But that means Simon must have been older. Either way, whenever the hell they filmed it, they filmed it. Either way.
I mean, after Mission Impossible, Mission Impossible was a hard thing to beat. Brian De Palma did such a good job with that. This is the template for.
Plus, the Saint was by Paramount as well. Anyway, so
That's what got Brian De Palma to do this as well.
They should. Technically, they should have, but I think he was done with spy stuff at that point.
Yeah.
So
he put his mark on it. Bam.
Yeah, done. Gone. He should come back to that franchise.
He probably will, because they wanted to bring him back for, was it either 4 or this one that just went.
Why?
I don't know.
Why, De Palma? What the fuck are you fucking directing lately?
Well, either way, we got about. As far as I'm concerned, this is what this last Mission Impossible is one of the best ones I've seen. It's just great. So. Yeah, whatever, man. we got a good one. So if he does decide to come back to that, maybe he could end the series with not end the series, but end what's his name? Tom Cruise's run on that with Brian De Palma coming back and doing the last one that Tom Cruise is in. That could be something. But yeah. Anyway, this is about the Saints. Yeah, I don't know when that comes out, but it's been announced, and so look out for more news on that. And that brings us to the end of the news and onto our next segment, which is Old But New. This week it is my Old But New, and the film I suggest that people watch is The Fifth Element. The Fifth Element to me was one of the times I enjoyed myself in the cinema. It's just such a great film. I enjoyed it immensely. I could say one of the only times after before around the Armageddon. Did that come out in 97 as well?
Yeah, around 97, 98.
Well, either way, it's a film by Luc Besson. It was a space epic, fantasy. It's very hard to describe. Well, it's about a fifth element, and it's a goofy, funny, charming. There's so many different levels of depth to this film. I did try to show it to my nieces and nephews not too long ago, but it just went over their heads. I don't think they had the attention span for it. But if you stick with it, it's one of those films that can delight. It's so delightful. It's so colourful. I think that's more to do with Jean-Paul Gaultier, but it's such a I can't keep saying it's such a, but it's just a great film. You had Bruce Willis and doing his Bruce Willis thing. It was basically John McClane in space. Wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time. You had Mila Jovovich as Lilu, who was this alien creature that became the fifth element through the convergence of these 4 ancient artifacts, and she was supposed to stop this incoming evil that was approaching our galaxy at the time. But I don't want to say much more about it than that. I think you should just go watch it and appreciate for what that is. Oh yeah, it also had Chris Tucker, and it was one of the first times Chris Tucker. For me, that was Chris Tucker was brilliant in that. I think it was supposed to be Prince at the time as well. Prince was supposed to be in that role, but Prince turned it down for whatever reasons, because as Kevin Smith says, Prince was in Prince World, and so yeah, he didn't get to do it, and so Chris Tucker ended up doing the role that Prince was supposed to do. And yeah, it's just a roller coaster of a film. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's one of Luc Besson's best out there films. Luc Besson has done so many different genre of films. This is one of his best, I believe. Gary Oldman's also in it, and he puts on this Southern American accent, which is brilliant, and he's got such a great name for his character, which is called John Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. That's just a name and a half. That's such a brilliant name. His character is brilliant as well. It's such a ruthless, colourful. He's what you would in a comic book. He'd be a supervillain. That's what he looks like. He's got that weird quiff with the plastic and and he's an arms dealer as well as many other things. It looks like he's got his fingers in lots of businesses. But Gary Oldman, he looked like he had fun with that role, because I've never seen Gary Oldman do anything quite like that again. Because that even in True, was he in True Romance?
Yeah, he's in True Romance.
Yeah. So in True Romance, he did something very similar to that character as well. But Zorg was just. I wouldn't know how to explain it. He was just eccentric and a lunatic in some regards. But it's, again, funny character. There's one scene that I always laugh at. But anyway, watch it. It's a freaking great film. Fifth Element. Go watch it. It just came out on I believe it's coming out on 4K Blu-ray, and they released a Blu-ray a few months ago, which has a Dolby Atmos soundtrack on it. So if any audiophiles out there and people that are obsessed with picture quality and audio like I am, go pick that up. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Go watch it. Films opening this week. Satch.
Yeah.
Films opening this week.
Independence Day.
Yes.
Yes.
Just seeing if you were still awake there.
I was still awake. I was listening.
Fantastic. Okay, so Independence Day Resurgence is in 2D and 3D. I'll go to see the 2D one because I don't like 3D. And that comes out on the 20th of June. If you haven't seen the original Independence Day, go watch it. I believe it was on TV a couple of days ago. If you've not seen it, go catch up with it. It's again, just like a lot of the films in the mid-90s, it's full of spectacle, full of very interesting characters. It's not one of those films that you can entirely shut your brain off from, but it's entertaining enough that it will keep you. It's quite a fast film. It keeps moving from the moment the opening titles open up. I'm talking about the first Independence Day now. You see the alien ships coming towards Earth, and it's just a constant from there on. It's a barrage. It's an attack on your senses. You'll love it. You'll love it. This new Independence Day Resurgence film, it looks like he's turned everything up to 11, so it just looks absolutely brilliant. It looks like it's carrying all the traits from the first film. It's got some of the same characters. Jeff Goldblum's in it. Jeff. If you saw Jeff Goldblum in the first film, he sold the movie on his performance alone, as well as Will Smith in the first film. But Will Smith isn't in this next one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see it next week. Satch. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. The trailers look good. We'll just see how it goes, man. Yeah. I think you said everything.
No, you got to say more than that.
I don't know, man.
I all need to say more.
It's got the other Helmsworth, and it's got
Who?
Will Smith
Who?
in there.
Who's in it?
The other Helmsworth.
Okay.
Yeah, the other Helmsworth, and cheap Will Smith, Will Smith in there. We'll see, man. We'll see. The trailers for this movie have looked consistently great. Despite my reservations for there being a sequel to Independence Day, because how do you top Independence Day? It looks like they've got a premise, kind of loosely, sort of.
Yeah, they come back.
Yeah, they come back. Yeah, cool.
Bigger.
But, we'll see. We'll see, man. I can't really say much that you haven't said already about this movie. So if I sound very unenthusiastic with Independence Day, because it's probably because I am. I'm kind of like, well, do they have to make a new one? Yeah, the trailers have been great as trailers. The last trailer didn't really do it for me because it was more of the same, but showing me stuff in the movie that I feel like I could have saved for the movie. So my expectations are kind of in the middle kind of ground territory for this one. I know everyone's hyped for it. I know my good friend Leo Van Damage wants to see this movie so bad he'd probably like sell his penis for it. But I just really don't. I'm just kind of like, cool, man, let's watch it. If I like it, yay. I'm just not really that enthused, man. That's just my honest opinion about Independence Day Resurgence, because I just don't feel resurgent enough to see it. It's just cool, whatever. Sorry.
Well, do you know the girl that was the president's daughter in the first film?
Yeah.
The little girl.
Yeah.
She is the girl in Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, okay.
The actress. She's an actress now.
Okay, which girl in Scott Pilgrim?
The girl in Scott Pilgrim. Never mind.
Is she?
She's also...
so you're saying she's in Die Hard?
Yes.
That's the same girl?
Yeah.
Really?
Apparently so.
Okay.
I heard this from someone else. But yeah, I was surprised that if it is who they say she is, then I'm surprised they didn't use her as the president's daughter as opposed to the chick from It Follows.
Yeah.
What is her name? It's so sexist with me calling her chick.
Well, maybe she was cheaper.
Come on,
So you're saying Mary Elizabeth Winstein was in Independence Day?
I believe so. Is she not?
We shall find out. Because that's surprising.
Yeah, it is a little bit.
That is really surprising. Well, she was in Sky High.
Okay.
She wasn't in Independence Day, though.
Okay, it's probably not her then.
Yeah, it's not her.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, that debunks that. Okay, so on from Independence Day Resurgence to Elvis and Nixon. And this looks like a dark comedy. That's the only way I can describe it. It's when Elvis went to meet Richard Nixon. So you've got Kevin Spacey playing Richard Nixon, and you've got the lunatic Michael Shannon playing Elvis. And from what I can see from this film, Quicksilver's in it as well. From what I can see from this film, it looks like a comedy.
Which one?
Elvis versus Nixon.
No, which Quicksilver?
Oh, which Quicksilver?
Because there's two.
Elvis versus... I just said Elvis versus Nixon. Elvis and Nixon. It's the Quicksilver from the X-Men films. I don't know that guy's name.
The guy from
Alex... What?
The guy from Kick-Ass. Oh, wait, they're both in Kick-Ass.
Alex Peterfer. Anyway, yeah, judging from the trailer, looks like a comedy. Did you see the trailer?
Yeah, I've seen the trailer for this film. I mean, like, it looks quite funny. Looks like a really funny premise as well. Kevin Spacey's always good in anything he does. Same with Michael Shannon. Yeah, I'd quite want to see this one.
Yeah, it looks funny. But this this film comes out on the 24th. It's directed by Lisa Johnson, and that's the first time I've heard of her. But it looks funny to her credit.
Yeah.
It looks like she's made the cracking of a dark comedy. So yeah, look out for that one. It's a 15 and comes out on the 24th of June. On to the next film, The Secret Life of Pets, which is a U in this country. And from the trailer, it looks hilarious. It looks absolutely hilarious. there's a couple of moments in it that made me laugh out loud. It's as far as I don't have much to say about this, but I know I want to see it. I haven't really wanted to see anything this much for a long while, animated wise, and so I'm really looking forward to it. Sach?
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, it's by the creative team that did Despicable Me 1 and 2 and the Lorax. They've got quite a good resume with this kind of film, and the trailers look hilarious, man. I think it's definitely one for the kids, definitely one for the adults. I mean, like, you know what? The whole premise just makes me think that's exactly what cats and dogs do when you close the door and go to work. I mean, like, it's like a really interesting concept for a movie. I mean, like, I'm surprised Pixar didn't do this themselves, to be honest, because it's very much the kind of thing you'd expect from Pixar. But it's got a genius premise. The gags look hilarious. Yeah, man, be interested to see what they do.
Yeah, I think this and Sausage Party is the two animated films I really want to see. And Finding Dory, that looks funny as well. But yeah, those are the animated films I want to see this year. Okay, so that again comes out on the 24th of June, and yeah, which is a U and it is in 3D. So take your little children and little adults to see this film when it is released. Okay, so on to one of our final segments, or to the final segment, which is Film 20 Questions. And Sach has something lined up for me today. So there you go, there's a pen, school. Okay, so while Sach is doing that, I'm going to...
Yep, got it.
Oh, no, he's done. Okay, so defend myself. Is this film a comedy? Saj?
Is this film a comedy?
Yeah.
Not really, but it's got comedy elements in there.
Okay. Okay, so is it set in the is it set in my timeline? So is it from the late 70s to now? Is it in?
No.
Okay. So it's an older film.
Oh, are you talking about when it came out or when it was set?
When it came out.
Oh, you said when it was set.
Okay, so let me rephrase the question.
So have you used a life for that last one, or?
It's up to you. You're the bookman.
Well, now you've got more information about the movie, so...
I've got no information about the movie.
Yeah, because you know it's not set between that time period.
What, in the past 37 years?
Yeah.
Well, I'm still none the wiser.
That's still information.
Well, it has to be a film that's set in the past 100 years, because that's how long films have been running.
Anyway.
Anyway, well, okay. Is it an 80s film?
No.
Okay. Is it a 90s film?
No.
2000s film?
Oh, sorry. No. Yes, it was a 90s film.
Great start.
Cool.
Okay, so it's a 90s film.
Yeah.
Is it an ensemble cast?
Not really. No, it has one lead character.
So it's not an ensemble cast.
It's not an ensemble cast. No. What?
You didn't finish your sentence.
No, I finished my sentence. I said it's not an ensemble cast.
Fair enough. Okay, it's not an ensemble cast. Is anyone in the cast dead or alive? Have they passed away since the film has been made?
No.
Okay.
Maybe the lady in the background on the aisle.
No, main cast.
No.
Okay. So it's a 90s film. It's not an ensemble cast. Does it have a famous director?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Does it? And it's sort of a comedy. You said.
It's got comedic elements.
Comedic elements. So would you? Is it an action film then?
Yes.
Okay.
It's got action in there.
Okay. Is the director still making films now?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Still active. Okay. Are there any females in the cast?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Actually, I do think it's more of an ensemble.
Fucking hell, man.
It's a bit weird, man, because they've got one main actor on the poster. The other actors weren't really known then, but
Okay.
they're bigger now.
Okay.
So it's a bit hard to. That's why I pulled the face, because it's hard to differentiate a little bit. But I would say she would be the female lead-ish.
Is this a coming of age film?
For her, I guess, but no.
So is it yes or no? And you've got to mark this down as
No.
a question.
No.
So it's not okay. Okay, so does it have a soundtrack, or does it have a composed soundtrack?
Oh. I haven't seen it in a while.
Okay, if you haven't seen it, well, that gives me a step to clear guessing what it is.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. No, there is a soundtrack, but I'd say it's more. Oh wow, it's a bit hard because it's got an orchestral kind of thing to it, but then it's got
a soundtrack. It's got music from the era.
No, but it doesn't have music from the era. That's the thing. I think in this movie, I think of this one song, and it's not. Well, it's different, but I'd say it's more orchestral. I think.
Okay.
It's just I haven't seen it in a long time, and it does have like a musical number in it.
Okay.
And it's a bit out there. I
Okay.
feel. But, yeah.
What is this the early 90s?
No.
Okay. Mid 90s?
Yeah. Yeah.
It either is or it isn't.
More the later half.
So it's the late 90s?
Yeah, late 90s.
Okay. All you had to say was no.
Okay. No.
Okay, so how many questions have I used up?
1, 2. $14.
Okay. Is this film bound?
No.
Okay. Chasing Amy?
No.
Okay. So you said that the main lead is a female.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. The main lead is a male, then?
Yes, that's
okay.
right.
How many questions have I...
You've got what? Hang on. 1, 2.
I've got 3 questions left, right?
2.
2. Is this actor still acting now?
Yes, he is. No, you got 3 more.
Is it Ronin?
Nope.
Um,
Got 2 more. I'll give you a bonus one for the mix-up.
okay. Is the... I can't think of what this is. You said it is an ensemble.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm not counting that as a question.
Is it Armageddon?
No.
Okay. So I've got one more question left, have I?
You got one more, but I'm giving you another question.
Okay. Okay, is this is the Jay Bruckheimer logo on this film?
No.
Okay.
Do you want a clue?
I'm no closer to guessing it than I was when I started.
It has... I'm just trying to think. It's got Ian Holm in it.
It's got what, sorry?
Ian Holm.
Fifth Element.
Yep. Do you see what I mean? Because like they sold the movie on just Bruce Willis. I was like, yeah, it's a Bruce Willis movie. And then you're like, is it an ensemble? I was like, well, kinda is, but it kinda isn't. You know what I mean? And then you were like, is that a coming of age movie? And then I was just thinking of Miller.
Media Development.
Yeah, character. And then you like the music, and then I was just like, I haven't seen the movie in a long time, so I can't remember what kind of music it has because it's the future, right? And then it has a start, it has a song, it has a dance number or you know a musical number, and I don't know what the fuck you call that music, but I was just like, oh shit, what the fuck would you call that? I wouldn't have a fucking clue. And everything's so strange in that movie anyway. You said everything except for sci-fi, and
yeah, I was just going with my gut.
Yeah, it was a bit hard to put. When you said is the director, I was like, hang on, wait, didn't he retire? But he did Lucy. But oh wait, that Valerian movie and shit. So I was like, okay, cool. So there's a bit. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be for you to get. But considering that you mentioned it earlier,
yeah, I didn't think you would go for that. I thought you'd go for something in your camp of films. I never would have expected for Fifth Element to come up again in the conversation. So it was like, oh, all right, okay, whatever, cool. Yeah, when you said Ian Holm, I thought, nah, can't be Lord of the Rings. So you said late 70s, late 90s.
Late 90s,
so
yeah.
It has to be Fifth Element.
Yeah, I thought I'd be kind, man, because like that would have been. Because the other part of me wanted to say, who's the guy that's in 90210 but's in that movie at the start with the gun? And
oh,
like,
him!
Yeah. I was going to say...
I would have got that.
Oh, would you have got that? Oh, shit. Who's that actor?
I can't remember.
In everything back then. But yeah...
but I remember they were trying to force him into be the next up and coming movie star or whatever.
Yeah, it just never happened for him.
Never happened for him, man. But yeah. Well, thank you, Sach. That was a good one. Surprising, but good. Okay, so that's it, folks. That's the end of the show. Thank you for listening. If you want to write us into the podcast with any questions or a film for us to guess on the film 20 questions, just write in at podcast at zedosgang.co.uk. That's the email for this podcast, or you can just write something in the description, or send us something on Twitter, which is just at zedosgang. That's all you have to do, really, if you want to get in touch. Please get in touch if you feel that there's something that we've talked about that we've misinterpreted or misunderstood or misreported. That would be greatly appreciated. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you can. It's a great show. If you've listened to this one all the way through, then we're doing something right. So yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel any way you wish to, and yeah, that's it really. Sach, where can we find you?
You can find me at Sacha Allari on Twitter, and that's about it.
Okay, fantastic. So thank you, Sach. Thank you for the listeners for listening, and that's the Zedos Game podcast for this week. And thank you, and we're out.